WICR.
Hello, everyone. GT Sports back with a quick recap of the Jets and Browns game. Going back, Jets beat the Browns 31-28. Jets are now 3-5, and the Browns are the only winless team in the league. I guess you can really expect that, being that, Isaiah Corral hasn't really been performing that well. He did get a touchdown, but he only had 29 rushing yards. Other than that, I guess the Jets' run game is clicking once again. Forte with 2 touchdowns, 82 rushing yards.
Yeah,
Nice
even Powell got
little
in there
smash
and
mouth football
stuff.
going on, and Quincy Enunwa got a nice touchdown. He really fought for those yards.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzpatrick did not turn over the ball, and there's nothing really else much to talk about. It was it was a little close.
I have some things to say as a Jets fan that I'll be able to share, but it definitely was close. First of all, we were down 20-7 to an 0-6 team at the time, which was very scary. I don't like how. I don't get
that's
it.
definitely that should not be
The
should
Jets
not
are
be
not
doing that.
The Jets are not that bad to be down that much, but they fought back. Fitzpatrick in that first half his completion percentage was horrible, even for the game. 16 for 34, that's under 50%, so that's pretty bad. But you said no turnovers. That's what we really needed. You don't want him to throw another 6 picks.
Right.
So the touchdown was good.
Going back to what we talked about the last couple of weeks about the Jets. We've always discussed their turnover issue. Like I said, this as I was talking about, you don't turn over the ball, you're gonna have obviously a better probability
chance,
of winning the game.
Yeah.
And as you can see, he did not turn over the ball. And yes, they did only beat the Browns by a field goal, but they did get the win.
They did get the win.
So,
they were up like 31-20, and then the Browns kind of got
Right.
a meaningless touchdown at the end, and then the onside kick didn't go their way. Oh, the one thing I want to take away from this game though too is the secondary of the Jets is absolutely horrible. First of all, you have. I know Pryor's talented, but he's a quarterback switching to a receiver, and he has 101 yards, and he was being covered by Revis.
Mhm.
So Revis Island is no longer a thing. That's not happening.
It is
anymore.
not. It has not been this year. Maybe it could be next year. But
I
how
doubt
many
it.
years?
He's
How many
getting
years?
older.
How many years can you have Darrell Revis? He's done
and
he's done his time.
It's just sad to see though, because there's times where it was a short dump pass.
Right.
Pryor's in front, Revis is in front of Pryor, and Pryor just makes one move and gets right past Revis. Like it's just hard for him to stay with these younger receivers.
It's just not the Revis Island.
It's not the Revis we're used to seeing. So it's scary in that sense. But the secondary just generally, besides Revis, is absolutely horrible. The cornerbacks just really, I don't know, they're having a tough time. We allow a lot of yards. We got the win and whatnot, but you let Josh McCown throw for 341 yards. I know he got picked off twice,
Right.
but
That's also you can also
yards.
consider that's desperation yards right there.
I guess yeah.
They are trailing. They're obviously going to be passing the ball a lot more than rushing. As you
Yeah.
can see, their rush game has.
Yeah,
I don't even think the Browns.
They really
I don't
do
even think the
anything.
Browns even pass 80 yards rushing. It looks like.
Yeah, the one strength that the Jets have is the defensive line. They're really good at stopping the run game.
Mhm.
So that's a good thing. But
They
they moved
did
to
get
3-5.
they did get 2 interceptions, but
Yeah.
that is once again McCown.
They got the win. They're 3-5. With that win, I'm not saying they're going to get to the postseason, but
Right.
if they string together another 2 wins before their bye, they're playing the Rams, who is a beatable team. They have a good defense, but we know Keenum and the whole Goff story isn't going well for them.
Mhm.
So if they're able to pick another win up at home, I think they play them Sunday at 1 Eastern.
It's the Jets
never know.
the Jets are kind of in a nice scenario. If they do grab the W against the Rams next week, you kind of have to look at how. They would be 4-5, and as of
Yeah.
right now, Miami Dolphins are 3-4, and Buffalo Bills are 4-4. So
Yep.
it's a pretty
They
tight. It's a
still
tight race
do-
for the second place.
They
in
still
division.
do have to play New England twice in the next 9 games that they have left. So that's a little scary, but I think they got really through the tougher part of their schedule in the beginning. I feel like when they played Pittsburgh. Did we play Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Right,
We
yeah.
played Pittsburgh. We lost to them. We played the Seahawks. We lost to the Bengals week 1. We should have won that game. The Jets. I keep saying we, but the Jets could have gotten more wins. But I think the rest of the season is a little better. It's still tough, but a little better than the beginning.
Right.
So,
You are looking at the Jets do have the hardest schedule in the NFL.
I
this
would
year.
say one of the hardest ones, and maybe a wild card spot. I don't know. I'm not going to keep my hopes up that
Yeah,
high.
I mean, yeah, it's tough to talk about. I mean, division, winning the division. I mean, you're looking at a New England Patriots team. Like as I say, every
yeah, the
you know,
division was
every
shut
week.
down. Trust me. We all
Yeah.
know New England got the division, and they're probably a Super Bowl bound team anyway. But
Yep.
just for
Well,
a wild card spot,
great-
we don't know. We'll see.
Great W for the Jets. We'll see what they do next week against the Rams. Jumping quickly to the AFC North. I mean, Steelers are ahead. I mean, it's a pretty tight division. Besides Cleveland Browns being 0-8, Pittsburgh Steelers are at 4-3, and then you have the Cincinnati Bengals with a tie 3-4, and Baltimore Ravens 3-4.
Yeah, the Big Ben injury is hurting the Steelers.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, I thought the Steelers would be a much better team this year, but it just tends to be. I mean, they've been a little mediocre. Their defense has not at all clicked. I mean, their offense, it's tough. I mean, they do have. I mean, look, they have Le'Veon, Antonio, and I mean, they did lose Martavis Bryant.
Look, and I just got a notification about Big Ben, which says that he took some first-team reps on Monday, but they still don't know his status for the next game. But
Right.
maybe he's nearing a return. So
Yeah, they said, I mean, which was 2 weeks, a week ago, a best case scenario would be 2 weeks, but I mean, the most that they're considering is 6 weeks possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could be any week, like I said, best case scenario is 2 weeks. But other than that, Steelers are still ahead of the AFC North. Jumping quickly to the AFC South, Texans are still pulling through with the wins. I mean, they're 5-3, they're first place. Tennessee Titans are right behind them, a game behind, 4-4. The Colts, I mean, they did lose against the Chiefs at 3-5, and the Jaguars are half a game back from third place. Which, I mean, neither of those teams are looking really good right now. But I still believe the Colts will definitely pull through this
I
division.
think the Colts will come back and probably at least make it a tough contest.
Yeah.
They're only 2 games back.
To end off the AFC, we'll go to the West with the Denver Broncos and Oakland Raiders tied for first place, 6-2 records.
Even the Chiefs only 5. They're still 5-2.
It's a tough division. I mean, this is I consider it probably the hardest division right now. I mean, the Chargers had a tough loss, but I mean, they still are a team that could definitely be grabbing wins throughout the year. It's tough to say. I mean, you're looking at Denver Broncos. I personally think the Oakland Raiders will pull through with the division. I mean, I think the Oakland Raiders will pull through with this division.
I think they'll get into the postseason maybe with a wild card. I don't know if I think the Broncos are still. Good enough to win
I
it.
still believe Oakland Raiders will win. Will be going to the playoffs. But I don't think the Denver Broncos will pull through with the division. I mean, they're a great team at all. Defense is, I mean, the best defense. I mean, Trevor Siemian though, as a first-year quarterback, I mean, for the team, first-year starting quarterback, I'm just not personally seeing him being able to make the team.
Yeah,
They're gonna make.
I'm not totally
I believe,
convinced
they will make
either.
the playoffs, but I personally don't believe they'll win the division. Oakland Raiders just are insanely hot offensively, and Denver Broncos are insanely hot defensively, but I personally believe the Raiders will end up. I mean, by the way it looks, they just have way more motivation than any other team right now.
They've been a struggling team in the past few years. They want to prove everyone wrong. So
I mean,
I
they're
definitely see that.
absolutely hyped out this year. I don't know how far they can go, but I believe that they can win the division.
fair enough.
Jumping into the NFC East now. Dallas Cowboys 6-1, Giants 4-3, Eagles 4-3, and Redskins 4-3, and with a tie. Yeah, I mean, the Dallas seems to be pulling away with this division. It's still pretty close. I mean, being that there's a Giants and Eagles matchup next week, so I mean, one of those teams will be hitting 5 wins, maybe a tie if we see a tie again,
Man,
which
I
I
don't know if I'll be happy with
highly
the tie.
doubt that could happen. But I'm not trying to be a pessimist about it. NFC North, Minnesota Vikings are ahead 5-1. We'll jump Monday Night Football quickly.
Yeah, they play the Bears tonight. That's a divisional matchup.
That's a divisional matchup, but the Bears have not been clicking at all. What
Yeah,
are they,
I'm
1-6 right now?
Yeah, they're supposed to be a lot better. Where are they? They are
They are 1-6.
1-6.
Yeah, I mean,
their Cutler's still out, right?
yeah.
he?
Actually, I'm not that sure. I believe he's going to be returning. Jay Cutler will be returning this game, but
okay. So
yeah. But I think actually the Bears could pull through with the win tonight. I'm kind of
Really?
I believe they can pull through, even though with a 1-6 record. I know the Vikings have been an absolutely phenomenal team, but I think the Vikings are still going to be affected from that last week's loss against the Eagles.
That's fair. Yeah, they might be a little rattled.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time the Vikings offense didn't really click. That's when Sam Bradford finally started turn over the ball. He did it twice, but I mean those are his only 2 interceptions of the year so far. They're still 5-1. The defense they've been playing all right. I mean they played all right last week. I mean I still believe it's gonna be a very close game, but because of last week's it completely completely broke their hot streak. I mean,
They are a whole.
And the
they're
Eagles-
home at Soldier Field too, which is an advantage for the Bears.
Yeah.
I just feel like me personally, Minnesota, I think is still going to win this game.
it's very. I mean, that's,
But I could totally see
they are
what
they
you're
are
saying.
favored, but I just feel like the Bears will.
I
I
definitely
mean,
respect that. Yeah.
I just feel the Bears will like still consider that Vikings cold streak right here.
So yeah, that's a Monday night game. I don't know how many people are actually going to watch that, but moving on to the NFC South. This one is a little. It's going to be an interesting one at the end because you have the Atlanta Falcons. The Bucks are playing pretty well, even though they just lost.
I mean,
and then the Carolina's going to come up.
Can you actually look at any of these teams and say this team's going to win the division? I mean,
Yeah, you just don't know yet.
obviously the Falcons are 2 games ahead of what do you call it, Tampa Bay and New Orleans, and
then
you know
only
3
three against from Carolina.
right.
So
I mean, it's tough because you would think in the beginning of the year Carolina's win the division. Now they're in last. They're 1 game behind Tampa Bay and New Orleans Saints, but I mean it's just really tough to say. I mean the Saints had a killer win against the Seahawks.
yeah, they needed that, or they would have still been 2. They would have been 2-5. So
and the Bucks haven't fallen short to a very great Oakland Raiders team.
and
I
that
mean,
loss helps Carolina get back in it. I don't know. I'm telling you, I just don't feel like Carolina's out of this. I feel like they can come back if they can't win the division because Atlanta keeps winning. I don't see New Orleans or Tampa. I don't know. I can't.
I don't see New Orleans winning the division, and I don't see Tampa
Both
Bay
of them are
winning
too
the division
inconsistent,
either.
but I think if Carolina strings a pair of games together, I think they can really compete at least for a wild card spot in the end. But it's just not.
I
over.
mean,
It's not
all
over for
these
them.
teams have been losing very, very close games, 1-possession games. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. I believe it's either going to turn out to be like you said, Atlanta and Carolina.
Yeah.
We'll jump into the NFC West. Seattle's still in first place, even though losing a tough game to the Saints. Arizona ended up losing to what do you call it?
The Panthers.
The Panthers, 30-20, and
So they still have a tie on their record.
Yep, we have LA Rams they didn't do anything because of the bye week. They will be versing, like you said, the Jets and San Francisco 49ers. I just don't know what to talk about.
Yeah,
this
I
team.
don't think
I'm not even
they're,
going to waste
They
my
didn't
time.
play this week either, right? I didn't
nope.
see them on
No,
there. I
they
think
did
they
not.
have a
I'm
bye
not.
as well.
I mean, let's not even waste our time here. It's
Yeah.
just.
That's not.
I still believe it's either going. I still believe it's going to be like a Seattle divisional win. I mean, Arizona's I think is going to trail right behind. Other than that, I don't really see much.
Do you want to talk about your Giants real quick? Give you like a little preview of the next game. What do you think? They're playing the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the past like 10 years, I mean, it's been a very close. I mean, the Eagles have been winning it a lot more than the Giants, but they've been a lot.
Giants'
There's
defense
been
is
a lot.
much improved.
It's
so.
yeah, it's a much improved team, and the Eagles have improved a lot too. I think that I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be a very close game, but I mean, I believe that either team. I mean, they still have to face each other twice, and the Giants still have to face the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Yep.
They all have to face each other. I mean, it's gonna be a very close race to the to the playoffs. But if I had to pull through, I mean, I'm not as a Giants fan. I think the Giants will beat the Eagles. I think the offense will click, and the defense. I think they'll play a little average against the Eagles. I mean, I always like to look back at the last week how the Eagles. I mean, they just had a tough loss.
Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely murked the Vikings last week. But this week they ended up losing to an overtime drive. Dak Prescott connected to Jason Witten wide open. That's a tough loss, being that that they were playing their divisional rivals.
Right.
But now the Cowboys have a little comfortable lead for first place, but I mean, I think it's now time for the Giants to improve from the last couple of years. I still think that the Giants will pull through.
I feel like they'll win too. To be honest, I think Eli's bound to have like a really solid. I'm not saying he's been bad because he hasn't been too bad with the turnovers. I don't think, but I mean, actually, there are some points, but I feel like he's due for like a really big game. OBJ will probably have a good game. I don't see like Philly's defense is that good, so I feel like the Giants can get things going, especially on the receiving.
I think
core.
I think
don't
there's
know
just
about
a
the
1
running
week.
game,
I mean, Eagles
but-
defenses they're pretty good, but at the same time, it's just like, I mean, they didn't do so well against the Cowboys in the end, and
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
couldn't stop them. So I don't.
it's also I'm not too huge with the Vikings offense. I'm not going back to last week. I'm not even. I mean, yeah, Sam Bradford is he wasn't turning over the ball, but he did turn over that time.
Yeah.
I'm not huge. I mean, they don't have AP anymore. I'm not even huge. I mean, they have Stephon Diggs, but I mean, I'm
but
not.
He's going to be
I don't think
double team.
I don't think. Yeah, go back to the Vikings quickly. I don't even think they're even gonna pull a nice stretch throughout the season. I think it's gonna be a pretty close battle for first place. But other than that, yeah, I think the Giants will beat the Eagles to go 5-3, second place in the division. We closing off this segment. We'll be returning quickly to talk about the World Series. Cleveland ahead 3-2. See you guys very soon.